Hey, I'm golf broadcaster Matt Adams. The updated and expanded second edition of my book, The Golf Round I'll Never Forget, Golf's Biggest Stars Recall Their Finest Moments, is now available. Readers can expect to march with Arnie's Army at the 1960 U.S. Open, relive Jack Nicklaus's remarkable 1986 Masters win, and be amazed by the Tiger Slam. The Golf Round I'll Never Forget, Golf's Biggest Stars Recall Their Finest Moments. Pick it up where fine books are sold, including BarnesandNoble.com and Amazon.com.
It's this day in sports history. It's December 22nd, and on this day in 1956, Bill Russell made his debut as a Boston Celtic. Now, if you're thinking, this seems a little late in the season for a player like Bill Russell to be making his professional debut, well, you'd be right. The Celtics had already played 24 games that season, but Russell, along with teammate and fellow rookie K.C. Jones, had been playing in the Olympics, which were being held that year in Australia. Of course, with summer and winter being flipped in the Southern Hemisphere, the Olympics didn't wrap up until December 1st. Russell led the Olympians to the gold medal, and now he and Jones settled in as pros after also leading the San Francisco Dons to back-to-back NCAA titles in 1955 and 56. Russell scored only 6 points, but grabbed 16 rebounds in a 95-93 win over St. Louis on this night, which was indicative of what was to come. His hands were like a magnet for the ball, and he would go on to lead the league that year in rebounds per game as a rookie, pulling 19.6 a game. And his rebounding helped the Celtics win the NBA title that season, grabbing a rookie finals record 32 rebounds in Game 7 as Boston beat the same St. Louis Hawks team that Russell made his debut against on this night. It was the first of 11 NBA championship rings Russell would earn. But here's the thing. Bill Russell himself said that he was not a basketball player. He was a man who played basketball. There is so much more to the story of Bill Russell than 11 championship banners in 13 years, or his 5 league MVPs. He had a tremendous impact upon the game and this country. But at the very least, his career as a Celtic began on this night, 67 years ago. Also on this day, in 1996, the St. Louis Blues' Brett Hull scored a hat trick, and along with that, his 500th career goal. His father, Bobby, also had scored 500-plus goals in his NHL career, and thus Bobby and Brett became the first and only father-son duo to score 500 goals each. Later, when Brett scored his 600th goal, they would then become the only father-son combo to each reach that plateau as well. The Golden Jet finished with 604 career goals, and Brett ended his career with 741. And sticking with hockey, in 1982, Wayne Gretzky got in one of only 3 fights in his 20-year career, and it's the only one where there is video footage still remaining. On this night, he dropped the gloves against the Minnesota North Stars' Neil Broughton. He later described it to be more like a cat fight, and that the two laughed about it when they were in the penalty box a few minutes later. That's all for today. If you have a moment, rate and subscribe, and let your sports-crazy friends and family know that you found the new podcast that they might enjoy. Thanks for listening today. I'll have more tomorrow on This Day in Sports History.
Hey there, sports history fan. This is Arnie Chapman, a.k.a. the Football History Dude, and I hope that you enjoyed this recent episode presented by the Sports History Network and were able to learn some good old-fashioned sports history knowledge nuggets. I started the Sports History Network back in 2020 with the mission to help podcasters find a community of like-minded sports history nerds, as well as helping aspiring podcasters to start their own shows. We have a little bit over 30 shows on the network right now covering all sorts of sports history, but as far as I'm concerned, we're just at the toothpick in the ocean moment, that can't even figure it out because there's so much more coming. We wanted to create the ultimate headquarters for sports yesteryear, starting with Podcast Network and our website, but we're going to continue to move into other mediums as well. And here's the cool part, because we want you to be part of our team. So if you're interested in starting your own podcast, or maybe being a guest on one of our shows, or who knows, maybe even writing an article for us over on the website. Seriously, all you gotta do is reach out to us on the contact page over at sportshistorynetwork.com. You can be as technologically savvy as a Neanderthal tapping on a stone trying to figure out this whole hieroglyphics thing back in the day. Again, it doesn't matter, because even if you don't understand the whole podcast space, we have a production team that can pretty much help you out with doing everything. All you got to do, head over to sportshistorynetwork.com, head to the contact page, fill it out. That message goes right to me, and I'll reach out to you as soon as I can. But for now, dude, I'm through if you're through.